Hi guys, nice to have you back here again. My name is Esther Itama, and if you're here, that means you're in Star's Kitchen. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate your time. Alright, today we're going to be making something really spectacular and nice. You know me and my Asian recipes. So today we're making Ayamase. Ayamase is a favorite dish from the western part of Nigeria, mostly eaten by the Yoruba people. Of course, you know, and if you've lived in Lagos, you must have tasted it one time or the other. Perhaps you were like me, you ate it and you didn't know what you ate. So right now we're going to be showing you the list of our ingredients. We're using some palm oil, 2 cups of palm oil. I've already washed and processed my beef and chopped them into medium size. These are crayfish, roughly blended. If you like yours more smooth, you can do just that. And also, if you don't like crayfish, you can omit it, but you need it since you're not using locust beans for this recipe. These are hard-boiled eggs. If you can add more hard-boiled eggs, yay, go for it, because it gives it a lovely taste. All right, there's some whole pepper which I'm going to be adding because my Scotch bonnet is not very spicy, so you know I like spicy food. And besides, Ayamase sauce has to be spicy. Here, these are some seasoning: the salt, curry powder, and also some seasoning. You can use any seasoning of your choice. These are our second star of this dish, which are the native rice. So these are the Yoruba types, the ones you mostly get from Lagos, Osun State and stuff. They smell, yes, they do smell, but I found out a way to make this in a way that it doesn't smell, because my husband and my children fall in that category. They just can't stand it. Each time I make this food, they love it, but they just can't stand the smell. So I had to do something about it, because I know they love it and I love it. So I want to eat my food without having people judging me, if you know what I mean. So I found a way. So in this cooking this, I'm going to be showing you how I do that I make it and this rice doesn't smell at all. So these are our green these are unripe Scotch bonnet, and also we are using bell pepper, a lot of bell pepper, and these are whole pepper, which I said earlier on. We're using a lot of bell pepper because Ayamase sauce never ever settles down in my house. If I make it this week, next week it's gone, and maybe I've only eaten it by like once or twice before I know it's done. I look at the fridge, I'm like, when did you guys finish it? They're like, well, yeah, it's gone. So today I said I'm gonna make a lot. So these are white onions. Yes, you can use your red onions if you like, but I prefer white onions just because it keeps the color green. I have also uploaded a video why I prefer white onions to red onions. Sorry, not green onions. So this has no significant difference in taste. It tastes the same, the flavors are the same, just the color. Of course, after preparing your mash, the colors are naturally dark. But I like the white onions because when you blend it with the green pepper, the bell pepper and all the green stuff we have running there, the colors are just the same. It doesn't change. But when you add the red onions, it kind of leaves something like a dent on it. But I use the red onions sometimes if I do not have the white onions. But if I have the white onions, yeah, I'll go for the white onions. But like I said, it doesn't do anything to the taste. The taste is the same and they're lovely. So I'm using 8 big bell pepper and also 15 seeds of Scotch bonnet pepper. Yeah, like I said, the Scotch bonnet pepper, I've used it to prepare some other dishes and it's not spicy at all. So don't worry about the quantity. But if you're not like us and you're not a spice eater, well, take as you can tolerate. Don't say, Saza says she used 15, so I'll use 15. Well, you might have to run out of your kitchen because we eat a lot of spice. Yes, we eat a lot of spice. Can you see the size of my bell pepper? Yes, I got a lot of it. And you will not even believe, I got a bag and my husband got a bag more because he wants a lot of it. I tell you, if you try this recipe with your family, they will love it, especially with all the little things there that I've omitted, like the locust beans. I know a lot of people don't like locust bean smell. I eat anything, but my husband does it. He doesn't like the smell. No matter how healthy it is, the smell totally put him off. So if you have a spouse like mine who doesn't like the smell, yes, I do not use locust beans. That's why I'm using crayfish, because locust beans is like a local seasoning. Yeah, it is a local seasoning actually. So I'm using crayfish instead. If you can get fresh crayfish that are nice, yes, that will work. So these are my beef. I just turned them in my pot, put in some onions. I'm gonna add in my seasoning just to season our beef. So if you've ever bought Ayamase, especially maybe in Lagos, and you find that when you take a little bit of the sauce in your rice, it's really crunchy. The meat that comes with it are crunchy. Yes, that's what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to show you why it is crunchy and how they do it. All right, maybe for some people who are keto friendly and do not want fat, this might not be too nice for you guys, but even at that, you can still do it. You can just put yours in the grill and you don't have to fry it in the oil. But for me, I'm not keto friendly, so I fry mine in the oil. So I just put in a bit of my salt, my seasoning, also some Dukeras curry powder. You can use any curry, but I just love my Nigeria Dukeras curry powder. I can't help it. Yeah, all right, so I'm gonna stir this all up together. Just make sure our seasonings are well rounded up and incorporated into our beef, and I'm gonna put it on a cooker to cook. Yes, why does it cooking? You know me by now, I don't add water. So my beef or my meat, I just let it cook in its own juice before I add water. So yeah, these are my 5 cups of native rice. They're gonna go into my pot now, adding some water and start to boil. Yes, I'm going to parboil them just like we do normal rice. I know some people don't parboil their rice, but for this one, you will have to parboil if you do not like the smell like me. So I'm going to parboil it and let it boil up for a while. So while that is on the boiler, please do not forget, while that is on the cooker, sorry, don't forget our beef, okay? Don't forget we did not add in water, so we have to put an eye on it all the time to make sure it doesn't burn. So I'm just gonna check out for my beef now and see. Oh, look at that, our meat is already sizzling. See, look at that, all the water coming out. I bet there's still more in there, so I'm not gonna add any more water. I'm just gonna stir and see how much juice or stock I can get out of this beef on its own. I know there are a lot of it in there. All right, I want it to cook in its own juice, in its own stock for a while before I add in water. That way all my seasonings have gone in. They really soak in the meat, and when you eat it, it just tastes lovely. So I'm going to cover it and allow it to cook. And while that is on the fire, our rice, and also while that is on the burner, our rice and also beef, I'm gonna process our pepper. So like the pepper, just cut it open with your knife. Just go around the whole part in between the pepper and take out the seeds. If you're not comfortable using your bare hands like me, please get a hand glove. You know, it's kind of disposable hand glove of the type you use in the kitchen. Yeah, but this is not really harsh, but some people, they can't stand it, so get a hand glove. So I'm going to pick my Scotch bonnet pepper as well now, take it to the blender and start to blend it. Yes, don't forget, for the 3 onions we're using, I'm using 2 for the I'm going to blend 2 along with the pepper, and I'm going to keep 1 which I am going to fry our Ayamase sauce in. I like a lot of onions when I'm frying my sauce. It just give it a wonderful flavor. One just fall off. I'm gonna pick it up, don't worry. I'll restate and add it. We can't have any peppers running because this Ayamase sauce is not even enough. All right, so yeah, we're gonna chop this up. Okay, so we cut 2 onions which we're gonna blend our sauce in, our pepper with, and the other one we're just gonna chop it nicely and set it aside, which we're going to fry in our oil later to make our sauce. All right then, so now we're going to move on to the blending process. And if you've ever made this sauce, I'm assuming you've never made it. Well, the best way, if you want to have your Ayamase sauce really nice, you don't need to blend this completely smooth. Okay, we need it coarse. So look at that, I'm adding a half onions to it. That's because so off camera I've added some water to our beef so that it can complete the cooking. I'm just going to keep it cooking for a while until I take it out for the frying process. All right, so our rice is ready now. It's been parboiling for over 5 minutes, so this is good enough. I'm just going to take it and wash it. So for what I said earlier on, to show you how to make this rice, avoiding the smell and also get rid of that color. For some reason, I do not know how scientifically true it is, but I noticed that each time I make this Ofada rice and I have it washed, especially if I can get rid of this kind of, should I say, brown, this dark brown color, it really gets rid of the smell, and the rice comes out even better. I mean, without the smell, of course. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I will drain my rice off the water which I cooked it with, which is what I just did now, and I'm going to wash it like 4 times more. So in the process of doing this, I'll run in some cold water and use my hand to gently squeeze it, as you're going to be seeing me do in a few seconds. So I'm going to be squeezing it with my hand, just so I get rid of that color and the smell. I'm getting rid of the smell, and I noticed the process of me washing this actually gets rid of the color, and you see that as the more times we wash it, the clearer the water becomes. And when the water becomes really clear, the smell itself, it's completely gone. So we're going to be doing that, or wash it over times. This will be the first time I'm rinsing it off from water after I took off the hot water which was parboiled. So I'm gonna rinse it off now, and I'm doing it 3 times more, just so it comes out really nice. And so what you're doing is just gently squeeze it with your hand. It's not like you're pressing it or anything, but just gently squeeze it with your hand, getting rid of that water. If you have to turn a couple of times, more than 3-4 times, please do. That way, the more you wash it, the less the smell will be. So yeah, the smell will be completely gone by the end of this. So I've done this many times because I had to devise a way, just as also with the sauce. Making a Ayamase sauce, you have to add in locust beans, but I had to look for a way to do this without adding the locust beans, because I know my husband can't stand the smell. So yeah, I want to make this food, and I want my family to enjoy it with me, so I looked for a way. That's the same thing I did with the rice. So the more you wash it, yeah, look at that. So the water is clearer now. So now it's good enough. I'm going to run in some hot water into our pot, add our salt, and drain our rice into it, and take it back to the cooking so that it can completely cook in. And when the water is completely dry, our rice is ready and cooked. But just so it's your first time and you do not know how cooked rice will be like, just use your fork, take some out, press it with the thumb of your nails and feel if it is soft enough, or you put some in your mouth, chew it. If it's soft enough for you, then that means the rice is cooked and it's okay. Alright, don't worry, you're gonna learn over time. I'm just speaking to the first timers. I'm not talking of our groups, because I know my Nigerian people, a lot of them are like, they know how to do these things. So I'm going to drain the water off nicely now. And please, while you're washing, take note of sands. Yes, sometimes these things come with sand, but because I bought this over here where I am, these are already peaked and the sands and stones are already taken up. But wherever you're buying yours from, just take note and look out for sands and stone. You don't want to have that while you're eating your sauce and your rice. It's going to spoil the whole thing. So look at that. Our meat is properly cooked now. I have just a little stock, which is what I need. So if maybe in your own process you're cooking yours and you have more stock, I do not support keeping some stock water. No, you can always get stock water for that one. So just make sure you dry it up. So if you saw earlier on, you saw that I put in some hot oil. I've told you that I have a reserve oil which I use in frying all my meat. Yes, I do that. This is quite small, so I added in more fresh oil. That's because when you use your oil that you've used in frying your meat before for your jollof rice, it just comes out lovely and wonderful. If you have never tried that, please try. You can check out my recipe on making patty jollof rice, and you see how I do that there. Just take a bit of your oil from frying your other meat, not fish, not fish, not fish, but maybe oil you've used for frying turkey, chicken, and beef. Yes, take a bit of it and add some fresh oil for your patty jollof rice. You see the difference. So these are our beef. Yeah, look at that. They are fried, dried enough, not too dry. You don't want them really dry like bond, but just dried enough where you have that crunch to the bite when you're having them. So yes, we're gonna blend our peppers now. Look at that. If you notice what I'm doing now, you see that I have blended the first batch and I poured a bit of it inside the blender to blend another one. That way I am avoiding adding more fresh water. If not, I'm supposed to add water to blend this. Why I'm doing this? Because I'm not going to be doing the boiling process, which is a normal way a mashed sauce is made. I boil it, some people drain the water off, and they drain the water off after blending it. Then of course after that they have to parboil. I just think all of that process is too much. Parboiling is fine, but draining the water off, I think you're taking out all the nutrients that comes from with the bell pepper. So look at that. Our rice is almost cooked. I'm checking there's still a bit of water at the bottom, so I'm going to leave that to dry out. You won't see that in this video again, so when it's dried out, I'm just going to set it aside, meaning our rice is cooked. If you watched that for our palm oil was red when I added it in, so when it's bleached, you see that the oil, it's not as red as it was before. So that's how you know the palm oil is completely bleached. So while that is done, just put in our onions, fry that for a while, let the onions completely caramelize in it, having all those brownish edges. Yes, that's what we need. Then we'll pour in our crayfish. Stir your crayfish in the hot oil and onions just for a few seconds. We don't want that to get burnt in there. And after that, our sauce will go in, which is our blended onions, bell pepper, and green Scotch bonnet. It's gonna go in now. Good, yeah, that's it. So while we fry that, look at that, the color. Look at how green it's. The color is still retained because I didn't use the red onions. If I had added the red onions, the color would be a little bit different. So because I didn't use that, but doesn't mean anything. You can use the red onions if you. I just like it like this. I mean, it's just beautiful and I love it. So after putting our sauce in, cover it, let it boil up here like I'm doing now. Let it boil up. When it's at this point, this is when our meat will go in. We're gonna add in our fried beef now, our hard-boiled egg, and the rest of our seasoning. So you notice I head back while I was adding our seasoning because I've not put in the stock from the meat, because after adding the stock water, you might find that you don't need as much seasoning or salt as you thought you would have needed. So I'm not going to get rid of my stock water, so I want my stock water to go in first. I'll stir that in, check if I see that I still need more seasoning and more salt, then I'll add the rest of my seasonings. I just take note so you don't over season your sauce or your food. I like my food really cooked naturally because I think that's the best way. I don't like heavy seasoning, but if you like heavy seasoning, of course it's your food, you can do as you please. As long as you enjoy it, that's the most important thing. So I've tested for salt. I see the salt is not enough, so I'm gonna add what was left of my seasoning. Okay, so now I'm gonna stir, adding our hard-boiled eggs. Someone would ask, why do you need hard-boiled eggs in your sauce? You add it to your jollof, your spaghetti, your stew, pepper stew, whatever. God, I just cannot explain the feeling, the mutual understanding between hard-boiled eggs and stew. Oh my God, it's like having feelings that you don't know how to explain. It's just wonderful, especially when the hard-boiled eggs really cook in your stew and the color becomes darkened, instead of being white like the way it was cooked, the egg, now it becomes darkened. Oh, it means that the sauce and the hard-boiled eggs and the meat or whatever it is you use, I've had a good understanding. They've had like a romance. Look at that. So you see, and once your sauce is thick, it means your Ayamase is ready, and you can have yours with your rice just like this. So you can wrap your rice in wrapping leaves, which are the away leaves, which gives it a very unique flavor, which is something we all love. Thank you so much for staying this far with us, and please hit the red bell button so you know when next we have and upload new videos. Thank you. Bye. Love you.